Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk with Brian Poduska. I am Lyndon Wilson, the creator of The Difference. The Difference is a digital media platform where we help small business owners, entrepreneurs, independent contractors connect at a deeper level within the communities that they know, like, and that they serve. And so what we do is we bring on the small business owners and we help them humanize and get to know people that are watching within the community so that people don't view them as just a business, but as their neighbors and their friends and the people that are having a big impact on their community. Our host today is Brian Poduska, good friend of mine. He has been with us since the start. He has hung in there and supported The Difference. We really appreciate that. Brian's got a fantastic business up in he originally from, I guess, he's from Frisco, but he does business all over. But I'm going to bring him in a minute. But before I do, if you're watching the scroll at the bottom, you're going to see that we're going to do a giveaway today. We got a new tool that we're going to play with. And so if you go into the comments, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, if you comment, that's going to pop up. And if you'll use the hashtag Real Talk, then that's going to allow us to capture who you are and put you automatically in that drawing. So the fitness watch has got all the things that most of them do. It's got a phone locator. It's got your heart rate, blood pressure, different things like that. So it's a really neat prize. We're happy to give that away. We're going to be doing this each and every week, each and every show. And also, there's a lot of other giveaways that we're going to be having. So our co-host, which today is Miss Kindra and my buddy Mark Karestskiy, they're going to have access to some of these things. Still be giving away compliments of The Difference, but if you get in touch with them, they're going to tell you how to get involved with that as well. So now, after I've said all of that, it's time for the host. I'm going to bring him in with me, Mr. Brian Poduska, Real Property Management Focus. How's it going, man?
Fantastic, Lennon. How are you today?
I am good, really good. Happy to get this rebooted, new format for your show. Really excited about that. We've got, it's such a big change. We've got some really talented professionals that's going to be sharing the screen with you. As I said today, we've got Kindra and Mark, and then moving in each and every week, we'll have two different ones, and then they will rotate every month. So, and bringing on their guests. So, anyway, let's let you go now. I see we've already got one comment. We'll see what they have. Oh, that's Mark. He's already he's out there pumping it up. So,
awesome.
Well, tell everybody about you and Real Property Management Focus, and then I'll let you start introducing the co-host and the guests.
Yeah, I'm fired up. This is I love the new format. I'm excited to have more visibility for more folks through the new format. Also excited to have regular co-hosts with us. We've got Kindra and Mark today, which is awesome. Kicking it off, so I'm excited about that. Real quick, first about Real Property Management Focus. We focus on your real estate investments. If you've seen the show, you know a little bit about us, but we are a full service property management company. And when I say full service, that means we're a full service brokerage where we can identify, purchase, help you analyze before you purchase, so you make the right purchase of an investment property. We've got a very cool tool called Wealth Optimizer that looks at an investment from all different angles, not just your cash flow. Has many different metrics as far as what your expected returns would be, whether it's cash on cash or cash on original investment, so on and so forth. So we can help you identify the property, analyze it, purchase it, manage it. Obviously, that's in our name, and then at the back end, dispose of it as you're ready to get out of your asset, or maybe trade up through a 1031 to a larger asset. So that is us in a nutshell. But we're here really to focus on our new format and our new guests. And like I said, I'm really excited about this. I think we've got them all backstage. So why don't we bring in both Mark and Kindra and then their guests as well. And we can have them introduce their guests as we get there. But Kindra and Mark, welcome. Welcome to the new format. I'm excited to have you guys. Excited to have you guys in this new format. What we've talked about through as we've kind of developed and evolved, I guess, as a radio show and a podcast. This started out, about a year and a half ago now. We're almost up to a year and a half. We were in studio and we were focused on a small group of individuals that were, trying to focus on the things that made the difference in business and life. While we still have that underlying principle for our show, we've evolved this thing to once COVID hit, we had to kind of shift and pivot to this online environment instead of in studio. And we discovered that, hey, the more businesses we can bring on to spotlight and give some personality to the brands and put a face behind the actual brands and names, we've grown our viewership, had a little bit of fun with it along the way. So I'm excited to be able to kind of spread the wings a little bit and let you guys co-host. So, Mark, since you're on the top of the screen here, Mark and Kindra, I want to give you guys a quick chance to introduce yourselves, number one. I know you've been on the Difference Makers as a sub-platform, but now that we have this format going, just tell our audience who you are, what your business is. Mark, I'll let you kick that off, and then we'll let Kindra, and then from there we'll introduce your guys' guests.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you having me on here. I am so excited for the new format. Just a reminder for some of the new people that are jumping on the live feed, we've got the, I don't know if it's an Apple Watch. It is not an Apple Watch. It is a smartwatch. It is better than an Apple Watch. You can take that to the bank. Comment Real Talk or hashtag Real Talk. Get entered into that. I'm not going to do it, but I kind of want that watch. My name is Mark Karestskiy. I'm a loan officer. I'm a residential specialist. I work with primarily first-time home buyers with a lot of veterans and active duty families. And for the most part, recently, I've been working with a lot of families that are struggling with inventory and trying to figure out how to go from the place that they used to be happy in and for one reason or another are no longer, and how do they compete in today's market and make the most out of the net worth that they've built up over this last couple of years and the appreciation ride that homeowners have been riding ever since. So it's a little bit about me. I like to keep things fun, like to keep things interesting. So I am the resident millennial on the panel, and I will be happy to represent us.
Yeah, you're the young punk of the group, so we love you guys.
We love Mark.
Absolutely. Well, and real quick, Mark, I'm with you. I kind of want to put hashtag Real Talk from me, in the comments here, because I don't have it. Like I've got this old school watch that doesn't do anything but tell time.
Yeah.
I won't do it, but I'll let somebody else win it. But I'm kind of tempted. So for those who didn't hear it, it's hashtag Real Talk. Put that in the comments, and that'll make you eligible to win the fitness smartwatch. So with that, I also want to mention, I don't think you've done it today, Lyndon, but we've done it in past shows, and maybe you have this screen splash ready to go. But, and I think this is eligible for our guests as well. Anybody who wants to have a sit-down conversation about, a consultation on a potential investment property, in my case, in Mark's case, a discussion about a loan product that he may have to offer. And in Kindra's case, she's got Fair Texas Title is who she's representing. So if, a realtor out there who's listening wants to have a conversation with Kindra about, what Fair Texas Title has to offer for them versus the very extremely competitive marketplace that is title, you can win a free trip, or actually not win, you can have a free trip. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Lyndon will put up the splash screen, but that offer, I believe, is still standing. We can highlight that a little bit later. But with that, Kindra, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about Fair Texas Title, and then we'll get into introducing your guests.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Yes, so I'm Kindra Strawn, and I'm with Fair Texas Title. I work in our Plano and our North Dallas location. We're 2 offices, but 1 branch. Fair Texas Title is, if anyone has been in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for many, many years, you may remember Hextra-Fair. We are part of that family, technically. David Fair started Hextra-Fair many, many years ago. And before he passed, unfortunately, sold to First American. And then his son, Brett Fair, started us about 6 years ago. And the wonderful part about Fair Texas Title is that we are back to that local title company, but that local title company that becomes your valuable partner in getting your business done and assisting you in your needs that you need to grow. So one of the nice things about First Texas Title is that we're going to answer the phone. Our escrow officers are going to answer your call. If you're a realtor or a lender and you need us on the weekends or the evenings, we're going to answer your call. I've literally on vacation this last week, took emails, I did net sheets for realtors because I know that you don't stop. I myself was a realtor for 3 years and know that basically that's when all the deals come in and all the trouble happens is when you go on vacation. Nothing happens for the week before, but the minute you step on that plane or you go out of town, it all happens. But the nice thing with Fair Texas Title is that we have a platform for you from just your net sheets to your printing at a very reasonable price to mailing out if you want to farm. And every agent is different. And especially in this marketplace, we are very well aware that this is a completely different market. It started probably, I'd say, about mid-January to February. We started seeing multiple offers, multiple contracts coming in. We don't usually get that, as well as way over asking price. And then all of a sudden with appraisal addendums and everything else on the sun, moon, and stars. So it just became chaos and a little bit different. And I grew up in Texas. I'm from this area. I live in Frisco and have since 1992. So I've seen it grow from 6,600 people to what it is now. And I'm here just to help. I'm here to assist my agents and lenders in what they need. It just to grow their business and to get the job done. And I love it. I have a passion for real estate. I love negotiating. And I love, assisting you all. So that's me. That's where I am.
Awesome. Well, and I can attest, I've used you guys on a close or two in the past. I've used your services even when we haven't been able to close. And in competitive marketplace, you mentioned your net sheets that you provide and things like that. So even if there's not a transaction on the table, I know I've leaned on you guys for some help before in the past. So, and you're more than willing and quick to do it. So I can attest firsthand that you guys go above and beyond just, assisting with the transaction that's literally on the table. You help all the way along the way. So thankful for that, and happy to give a shout out.
Brian, real quick, I do have that flyer up I'll pop that up now for the airfare.
Awesome. Yeah, so there it is. If you guys out there in the audience, reach out to us, to any one of us, myself or Mark or Kindra on consult for their offerings, you can have. It's not a win situation. You receive airfare and hotel. That's two airfare and 2 nights hotel stay in multiple different locations in the continental U.S. here. Get my magnifying glass out of here. I think I can see Los Angeles, New York, Miami, Las Vegas, Chicago, my hometown, woot woot, New Orleans, and a few
about 21 places.
21 others. Okay, cool. So reach out to us, and that trip is yours. All it is a half-hour conversation with us to talk about how we can help you.
And that's real quick. That is the first 5 for each one of you. The first 5 that talk to you.
So we don't have that deep of pockets. It's limited to 5. So line up quickly. Awesome.
Are we one of the 5?
No.
You can probably barter with one of your buddies to
hilarious
conversation, and then
it's just for 2, Mark. Just get the right person, and they'll take you with them.
You got to find somebody who has an open seat for you.
My name is Mark Karestskiy.
Spelled with an I, not a Y.
Yeah, you got it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for introducing yourselves, guys, and your businesses. our format now is, we're spotlighting our partners as well, right? So I'm glad you guys found some awesome guests to bring on the show today. So what I want you to do is just introduce your guests. We'll do that first for both of you. Kindra, I'll let you go first since I should have said ladies first earlier, but I'll let you go first on the intros since you have a lady guest as well.
Thank
Ladies
you.
first in this instance. And then we'll let you guys do a quick intro, and then we'll go one by one and let you guys spotlight, your businesses, how you got into it. This is just a very open conversation. It's very conversational. So we just want our audience to learn more about you, yourselves, your businesses, and really your passion, why you got into it, your why, and what drives you every day. So with that, Kindra, I'll let you introduce your guest.
Thank you, Brian. My guest today is Chancy Green, and she actually is a friend. She is a neighbor and a fellow Frisco mom of 3. And I got to know Chancy, just like I said, just because of the neighborhood. And we live on the same street. And because of the business she started, and now she's also a part of another business that takes care of my pool. And I cannot talk more highly about them, the Cool Pool People company, because of the fact of them helping us through the freeze and them helping us try to save what we could save and just get through it, and how awesome they've been since then. But she started something called Inflation Celebrations, and it's just one of those fun companies that I'm going to let her explain, but it's been great because she knows me that I'll call at the last minute and go, oh my gosh, I forgot. And she usually always comes through, but she is amazing. So I just want to introduce Chancy Green, and I'm going to let you talk about you.
Thank you, Kindra. So initially when Kindra was talking about my inflation celebrations business, I struggled today with what work shirt to wear because I have my Cool Pool shirt on, which you mentioned, I'm the office manager for Cool Pool. But then, my own personal baby is the inflation celebrations business that I started 8 years ago, which Kindra mentioned is inflatable yard greetings. So the story is when my daughter turned 1, she's now 18, my dad showed up. He drove 8 hours to visit our family on my daughter's first birthday, and he showed up with an inflatable yard greeting. It was a big 6-foot tall cake that you just plug in and it inflates. And so every year after that, I would put it up for our girls' birthdays. And then I started doing it for the people I lived in Kansas at the time, and I would just start putting it up in friends and neighbors' yards just for fun. And then when I moved here, I thought, gosh, I want to get a job, but what am I going to do? I have 3 small children that are busy. My husband travels. What could I possibly do? And I just thought, well, maybe I'll try this business of inflatable yard greetings and see how it goes. And so I've been doing it for 8 years now, and I get a lot of repeat business, people who are looking, for a tradition within their family. So what happens is I'm kind of like the birthday fairy. People who've called me, I'll go deliver a birthday greeting. It arrives in your yard. You wake up to it. It's there before sunrise, and then I go take it down in the evening after sundown. So it's just like a one-day rental, and people who are really generous to the people they're ordering for they'll order donuts, and they say happy birthday, or they can spell anything you want. And you'll wake up to those on your doorstep. So that's a lot of fun. And tie a greeting to the front door with a little message and who it's from. And people love it. It's a lot of fun. So
I have to interject on this one because, first of all, I'll take a step back. And when we were talking about setting up our guests and things like that, before I even knew you were coming on the show, Chancy, I reached out to Kindra and I said, who's your guest coming on? And let me know a little bit about him. And she replied, Chancy Green. She's like, she told me all your bio and everything else. I'm like, well, I know Chancy. So the small world experience is we live in the neighborhood right, across the tracks, right?
Across the tracks. I could throw a rock at you.
So we all live in Frisco, and we all live right along Lebanon Road, and we're on the neighborhood across, I guess, probably the poor side of the tracks. You guys are in the fancy part of Frisco. Just kidding. But so our families all know each other as far, and Chancy and has on multiple occasions for our children brought inflation celebration joy and goodness and donuts and everything else to our home. So she's exactly right. She gets out there at, before sunrise at, 4:30 probably in the summertime when the days are longer. And, the kids wake up and they see the blown up, birthday cake and message across the front lawn, and all their friends and families in the neighborhood can see it's their birthday. It's awesome. We've experienced it firsthand, so I can attest. Again, I'm doing a personal testament here. The kids love it. Parents are, super thrilled with it. So can't talk highly enough about how much fun your business brings, and joy that business brings to, both kids and adults.
Well, thank you. I was just going to say, I wanted to plug the twin special that I do, because Brian has a set of twins, boy and girl, and what I do for twins is I do a buy one get one, so you just pay one price. You're not paying for two inflatables, so I think that's kind of a nice deal. So triplets, I would do pay for one, you get three. So
which as parents of twins, there's very, very little or very infrequently that you get any sort of deal on twins, especially car insurance, which I've recently run into. So maybe Ben later on can share if there's any twin discounts there. But
there we go.
Ben, you better think about that.
any sort of twin discounts are much appreciated.
See what I can do.
And Chancy just Special Celebrations doesn't just do birthdays too. He also does graduations. He has all kinds of fun, like Incredible Hulk and what else? Princesses, yeah.
New baby arrival, yeah. Thank you. Yes, definitely. Birthdays are my favorite, though.
I'm excited to get some for some friends. I'm excited to use you for some friends, but I'm also.
Well, I would love to do so.
None of my friends have done it for me, so call out.
I will tell you that over 8 years, there's been a little bit of a difference. And when I go, I'm creeping up to people's doorsteps to plug into their electrical. Well, as you can imagine, there's a lot more cameras out there. So I used to just wake up in the morning, I'd have my pajama pants on. I would brush my teeth, but not brush my hair, go make these deliveries. And now I'm on camera everywhere I go. There's Ring doorbells. So it's taking a little bit of the element of surprise away that there used to be, I think. But anyway.
You gotta be careful sleeping around in Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So.
I think Chancy, I've seen you on the Nextdoor app where it says, "Does anybody know this thief?" The notifications. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know her. She's all good.
She's a sweetheart."
Yeah. Oh.
So so I can personally attest, I guess, to both of your businesses, because I reached out personally to Cool Pool company when, like you said, during the winter freeze. We had some issues with our pool, and when all that stuff was going on, people were asking, online or wherever, saying, "Hey, does anybody have a great pool company to call?" And consistently, I saw Cool Pool people come up quite a few times on multiple different inquiries. So I personally reached out, and one of your contractors, Carlos, came out and took a look at our pool and helped us through a few things. So I can attest to that as well. Tell the audience a little bit about your other business that you're the office manager on. That's Cool Pool.
Sure. I'm the office manager for Cool Pool People, which has been serving Frisco for over 12 years now. This summer it will be 13 years. And the owner, Todd Gustafson, he's been cleaning our pool for 9 years. When we moved in, our whole neighborhood raved about him and said, you have to use Todd. And funny story, my husband thought he would clean our pool himself. And so Todd came over and did a whole pool school with them and was, really kind. And, my husband and I, we went to Leslie's. We bought about $130 of chemicals, and we came home and, I thought they were going to be put in the pool. But a week later, I see him sitting there over by the equipment. And I was like, honey, are you going to put the chemicals in the pool? And he said, "Oh, I'll get to it. And I was like, well, if we test the water now, it's going to be a completely different story. So I'm like, we're going to just go back to Todd. So, and anyway, Todd took us back with open arms, which is really nice. He's incredible. He's really hands-on with all of his clients. And so then we'll fast forward. And then 3 years ago, he came to me and he said, I've been working with him for years I would always hit him up for silent auction things for our girls' gymnastics and for the local schools. And he was always really supportive. And so we got to know each other that way as well as me being his client. But he came to me 3 years ago and he said, Chancy, is there any chance you would consider working for me? And I was like, well, what does that mean? And he's like, well, my wife says I need help. He never had any office help for over 9 years. And he said, I don't know what it means. I just know I need the help. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm really looking for a job. I have my own small business, but let's talk about it. So we sat down at my kitchen table. We talked for about an hour. Next thing you know, I had all his passwords, everything. And he said, I don't know, just let's go and see what happens. And so I was working 20 hours a month then to full-time now. And I love this company. I did before I even started working here, but as a client, I think it's amazing. And in working with Todd and the team, they are just the most genuine people. And during the freeze, we have several contractors that we've worked with, but primarily we have a repair company that Todd has worked with exclusively for 12 years too, busing pool repair. He has done amazing things for us to help through the freeze, but these two people are the most genuine people you could ever imagine. So
I have to say the fun part was after the freeze, and I think it was just a maintenance call that you came on with Todd to my house. And I remember you looking at me going, I never thought that being an office manager would mean that I get to learn everything about
so there's a funny story.
Cleaners and equipment. You're like, I just never would think that I would ever know all this stuff. And you were
he said to me one day, he said, Chancy, I've always had a dream that whoever would work in our office would actually go out in the field and see and experience what our team experiences on a daily basis. And I was like, now what am I getting into?
Speaking of Todd, we have him backstage. Y'all wanna let him come in and join the conversation?
Sure. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Todd.
There he is. See, he's great. He's really hands-on and he never misses a beat.
We had a hard time figuring out how to get logged in here, and I think we're logged in, but our screen is gray right now.
We can see you.
We can hear you and see you just fine.
We can hear you loud and clear, so that's great.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us, Todd. That's awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you for broadcasting. This is really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Taking a lunch break there with one of our new trainees. He's with T-Soak. Hello, T-Soak.
Hello.
So I'm glad to see you guys are taking a quick break to get some lunch.
Yep, we have a burger here. We're at K-Pop Burger.
Nice. I was just telling them, Todd, about how you told me one day how you had a dream to have whoever works in your office work in the field so they could really get experience of what you guys do every day.
Verbalize that because that was always a dream, but I didn't think you would really want to work in the field, and it's turned out to be a wonderful thing.
Yes, it's really helped me on the billing side, and then helping the team troubleshoot and to do sales. Definitely.
Well, I can tell you this: she's already almost sold me the bottom half of my new pool filter because I've got a crack in my pool filter, and through about a 1 minute Q&A, she was able to say, "Well, I might be able to find you. I'll keep my eyes open for the bottom half of your filter." I was like, "Okay, wow, that's impressive."
I love it. Yeah, she's very resourceful. Well, I don't want to. You can continue the interview. We're just backstage here.
All right. Well, like I said, thanks for jumping on. It was a pleasant surprise, and you're making me hungry with that burger. So
yeah, the burger looks good. Thanks for joining us, Todd.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, Chancy, I appreciate you giving us that background on both of your businesses. We're going to circle back when we open up the conversation. But I don't want to give Ben the short end of the stick here. So, Mark, why don't you introduce Ben and let him talk a little bit about his business?
Awesome. Well, man, I am hungry, but that was awesome to see somebody just pop in and absolutely go live. That was awesome. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ben Jones. Ben is a good friend of mine now. We recently met. I have always been a big fan of the company that he knows more intimately than many others, which I'm sure he will allude to. But man, Ben is a great guy. He is a great insurance broker. He has a full understanding of really the more financial related aspects of insurance, which I find amazing. And he's got a fellow immigrant story like myself. So I think that is always cool. So Ben, welcome to the show, my friend. And I hope that was a proper introduction, but tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, no, that was probably a better introduction than I was expecting. And actually, yeah, I am a fellow immigrant, been in Texas and Flower Mound from Canada since 2001. But no, I own a Goosehead Insurance Agency. I think what Mark's alluding to with me having an intimate relationship is my family actually founded Goosehead Insurance back in 2003. We started out really small. It was actually an idea from my aunt that has just, since then exploded. I think now we're the largest independent insurance broker in Texas, or one of the largest in the country. We've got a little over 1,600 agencies nationwide now, and a couple thousand corporate employees. So Goosehead has really grown. But for me, I've always loved the business. I got into the business when I was 16 years old. Our business is really built around giving our clients the power of choice. We've got across the country now about 120 different insurance carriers that we have access to make sure that our clients can always have the best insurance coverage for the best price. And I think something important with that is, we kind of go in that methodology. Sometimes the insurance industry can get a bad rap for, poor coverage, or in order to lower premiums, to just have to start stripping down coverage. We really do want to make sure that our clients have the best coverage for the best price. But for me, I grew up actually working in our finance department for about 4.5 years when I was a kid. I graduated from school. My degree is finance with an emphasis in investments. So I spent a little over 4 years as a financial planner. And then I've now had my actual Goosehead agency for almost 1.5 years. So where I can actually help clients on the insurance side. And I've been able to have the pleasure of working closely with Mark's office. I work with a lot of realtors, mortgage lenders, and our model is really built around making their business easy. Helping have quick turnaround times, helping their clients, get the best policies that they need, fixing debt to income ratio types of situations. And I really enjoy working with Mark in his office, and helping them know their clients are being well taken care of.
Fact. That's a true story right there. And I don't know that you can make our life easy, but damn it, you try, man. And I appreciate you for it.
Hey, well, I enjoy it.
Another small world example on Ben. I asked Mark who his guest was, and he said Ben Jones, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Ben Jones from Goosehead. Ben and I had met each other, I don't know, probably about 6 or 8 months ago. It was
like that,
COVID
yeah.
time, something like that.
Yep.
Over at a networking event that we had both attended, and had a great conversation with you about your history with Goosehead and how it started in your family and everything else. So when I saw you pop on behind stage and saw your face, I immediately put 2 and 2 together. So I'm glad you were able to join. Good choice of guest, Mark.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I can surprise you every now and again.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm all for surprises. I love it. So good choice there. So what I want to do is kind of open it up a little more roundtable now that we've got a little bit of color from everybody and everybody knows who we are. One thing that I always like to understand, as far as when we're talking to business owners or folks that have a pivotal role in sales in their company, what is your why is what I always like to ask. So Chancy, let's start with you. You told us a little bit about the history of your inflation celebrations business. And I think I can probably figure out what the why is, but tell us tell us the why behind inflation celebrations?
The why really is just I wanted to contribute to our family. I went to college, got a degree, had a good job. Then we had kids, and then my husband's job moved us. And so, we came here. I was, am I going to get a job? And I decided, you know what, my kids are too active. I don't know what I could even possibly do to contribute to the family. And so that's really the why, is just wanting to contribute. And then, in a small way, it's just kind of like fun money, but it makes me feel better than knowing that I'm contributing something for our family. And people ask me all the time, isn't it hard to get up early? Do you have employees that you hire? On occasion, if I go to town, I'll ask one of the neighbor kids to make the deliveries for me, or my daughters, and my husband has actually stepped up to the plate many times for me when I've gone places. And he does a fabulous job as well, but it's just a lot of fun. It's a very rewarding job to spread joy. It really is. So I'm not willing to give it up. So that's why I do it. And it's every time I get a picture, people will send me a picture that I can post on Facebook after they've received the delivery, and seeing those makes it worthwhile every time. So
it was fun doing it for my dad's 80th birthday. It's been great doing it for my sons who are older. And so if they're home, I'm going to have it in the yard, just because anything you can, mess with a 25, 23 or 21-year-old, it's fun to do. But they love it. They actually do love it. And they'll sit there and they'll pose for the picture, and they're happy to get those donuts, because I darn well better order those donuts with their inflation. They're inflatable. But this is also something that's really great for realtors or a lender. If you've got a client that's, that's closing on a home, closing on a refi that you did a lot of work with, that you just have a special bond, this is a great idea to send them an inflatable in their front yard, because everyone's always trying to come up with creative, closing gifts and creative things to do. And this is just something a little different. As well as if, realtors out there, if you need a good pool company to come look at a pool of a home they're buying, give them a shout so they can come and take a look, or they'll at least refer it out for a pool inspector to tell you if the equipment's in running order and how the pool looks. So that's where, to me, these two businesses are so important to my clients.
Thank you, Kindra.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Chancy. And when I said I can probably assume what your why is, that's kind of it. It's the joy that it brings to consumers and your customers. Because, like I said, I can speak firsthand to it, because I've seen it in our kids' eyes when they wake up and they're all excited to see the coolness in the front yard. So
and it's really cool, because it's not just for kids either. It's on one day, I think it was last month, I delivered to a 1-year-old and a 100-year-old in the same day, and that's probably been my favorite day in business ever, because I thought, how cool is that? I mean, it's across the spectrum. I mean, people like to do it for their kids as a tradition. They're kind of using it as you have a 6-foot cake in your yard, but really it's kind of like a growth chart. After 8 years of doing it now, I've had people send me pictures of, 8 years ago to now, and it's really cool to see that. But, doing it for a neighbor or a friend, it's hard to know what to get someone for their birthday when somebody might have everything already. And so it's just kind of a fun way of acknowledging their birthday. And people like to say, oh, I don't want to be acknowledged on my birthday. But really, I think people really do. And this is just kind of a nice little subtle way. It's not screaming, but it's a nice little fun way. So.
My birthday is next Sunday, so what are we looking at on turn times? Is that on the schedule?
Well, if you have my cell phone number, as long as I get the message before I fall asleep, I generally can make the delivery by 6:30 in the morning. What's that?
It's gonna be a surprise for myself, and I'll forget that we talked about this, and I will be surprised.
Okay, I got you.
awesome. Ben, let's go over to you. Obviously you have the Goosehead insurance in your blood. You're a man after my own heart, with a finance degree and focus on investments. I'm the same way. That's awesome. I was a finance guy in corporate America for years, and eventually got into property management and real estate investments and things like that. So same kind of track record there. But tell me your why, as far as, other than, well, I think you said it was your aunt who started the business. Other than her saying, "Here, you have to do this."
Yeah, no. In fact, actually, I missed the investment side. It took me a little bit of convincing to want to come back, but I honestly love it, and I think the reason why I enjoy doing it so much is I just like making sure that families are well protected. I'm a big relationship guy. I love connecting with people, both referral partners and clients. I like having the opportunity to work with clients and kind of break the stigma of what the insurance industry kind of has had traditionally, right? Kind of the shady guy that you only call when there's something bad happens. I want to be the guy that people can say, hey, I trust Ben. I know he can help me. He's not going to be pushy. It's going to be educational. There's good product there. And really breaking that stigma and letting my clients know, like, hey, we're generally here to help you, and I want what is best for you. And just making sure that they're well taken care of. I feel like that's been missed out on in the past, and we're here to change it.
Awesome. That's great. Well, cool. I want to take a quick, probably 30 seconds here. Two things to mention before we get into a little bit more discussion. I want you guys both Ben and Chancy, to think about, we'll want two things. One, who your ideal client is, and then number two, just talk about each one of your businesses and what your services are as a recap. But before we do that, I want to bring up two things. We've talked about this at the beginning of the show. We've got a smartwatch, fitness watch, that we're giving away to any listener who puts in the comments #RealTalk. That will enter you into the drawing. We have a random drawing through StreamYard here to pick the winner for the fitness watch. Again, just drop in #RealTalk into the comments, and that'll get you in the drawing for that. And then, Landon, hopefully you're quick on the trigger here. I want to give some time to our sponsor of today's show, and that is Liberator Health Insurance. So Mr. Greg Holdberg, who also has a rotational spot in this show on Real Talk, but he is a weekly sponsor as well. His company, Liberator Health Insurance, is really your simple solution to affordable health care. He has a Liberator Deal of the Week that we like to call out. So this week's deal, a couple got great coverage for $340 a month, including an HSA, a health savings account, that grows up to $5,000. So I won't get into a lot of the details. I'll let Greg do that. But I do want people to know that this is a very unique offering, a great alternative, a great affordable alternative to a lot of the marketplace programs that are out there, which offer very few choices. Most of those, if you're a single business owner or an entrepreneur, you don't have access to their PPOs if you go through the marketplace. And you may be paying 2 to 3 to 4 times what Greg has here. So his plans offer, like I said, affordable plans, but most importantly, they offer choices. So they partner up with several PPO major networks out there to allow you to choose and oftentimes negotiate what your services would cost. So again, if you're looking for an alternative to the marketplace, there is a way out. You're not locked into that plan for the entire year. Reach out to Mr. Greg Holdberg, the owner of Liberator Health Insurance. He can be reached at www.liberatorhealthinsurance.com, which is his website, or call or text him at 214-886-4688. Awesome. And I think we've got, about another minute or so, Landon, in the...
got about a minute. So make sure you're making the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, and #RealTalk, and you will be in the drawing. I'm going to go ahead and put that up now so that we can all see it. So all I've got to do is hit the draw. But so far we've got 4 entries. So
your odds are pretty good. You know what? I'm going to add number 5. I'm just putting #RealTalk in right now.
All right, go ahead.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
I was about to say, if you're doing it, I'm doing it.
No, I won't spoil this. So you've got a 25% chance of winning right now. Next one, your odds are reduced to 20% if my math is correct.
All right, so here we go. Y'all ready?
Let's do it. Oh, it's like the Wheel of Fortune. This is great.
Wait.
Well, it says that we won, but the only one that I saw in there was Tom Rowe.
Yeah,
and
I saw
that is
Tom's
the only
name
one.
there.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, since the difference is giving it away anyway, I'm just going to pass it on along to Tom Rowe. So Tom, if you're watching, if you will send us a private message on what your email is, I will get all that information out to you. And congratulations on winning the smartwatch.
And I'll give a shout out to Mr. Tom Rowe. I know Tom very well. He is the owner of Wines with an Appeal. So I'll give his business a quick shout since he won it, and we welcome his support and thankful for his support. But if you're looking to do a charity event through a wine tasting event, Tom will come to your location or a predetermined location and run a wine tasting. He has some very unique wines that he has to offer. Again, this is not a paid plug. I just know Tom's business, so I'm going to give him a shout out. But he will, all the wines that he sells, which are very unique offerings that you're not going to find them in your local grocery stores or even a lot of the wine stores around here. So he has partnerships with some great vineyards that can provide some unique wines, very affordable costs, and anything that is above and beyond his cost of acquiring those wines goes to the charity of your choice. So if anybody's ever looking for a great fundraiser, a very fun fundraiser, I know Tom is very knowledgeable. He's actually one of the folks who puts on the wine tasting. So Wines with an Appeal, that's Mr. Tom Rowe's business. And congratulations on winning the smartwatch. And you're welcome for that plug. I'll bill you later for it. Just kidding. All right. So we do have about 10 more minutes or so left on the show. Again, thanks to our guests for coming on, both Chancy Green and Ben Jones. What I want to do is, I know we gave you guys a quick opportunity to overview your businesses, but what I'd like to do is give you a chance to go a little bit deeper. Chancy, I know you talked a little bit about Cool Pool, and it's a pool service company, but I want you to, both on your inflation celebrations and Cool Pool, just talk a little bit more about details about why you're different, and then number two, make sure that you highlight the services that both businesses offer, and then Ben, we'll go over to you after that.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll start with inflation celebrations. I think what sets me apart is I'm the only one who does this. I don't know of anybody else who does this particular business. There's the yard sign companies out there. And I think they're great too. They cover up your entire yard. This is a little bit different. And, like I said, it's a little bit more subtle. And the price point is a lot different too. My delivery is just for local delivery here in Frisco without donuts is a $45 one-day rental. If you add the donuts, it's $75. So it's pretty inexpensive. Especially if you're wanting to do it year after year. I know how much people spend on birthdays already. So it's just a little extra something people look forward to. So I think that's what makes it unique. And then on the Cool Pool side, we're really focused at Cool Pool people. We're focused on just pool cleaning. We can offer anything you need in regards to your backyard and your pool with subcontractors and stuff. But our intention is residential only, not commercial pool cleaning. We're weekly. We don't offer biweekly service. We're year round, all year round. No, so we don't offer seasonal service either. But full service, we don't just do chemical only service. We want to take full ownership of taking care of your pool and making sure it's beautiful all year round. And we're really selective about who we choose as clients. Before we even give you a rate over the phone, we love to just come take a look at your pool and see if it meets our requirements. And it sounds kind of snobby, but we want to be successful in cleaning your pool. And that means looking at the builder. Have you picked a reputable builder to build your pool? Because if you haven't, we're not going to be successful in cleaning your pool properly. Are you picking, top of the line equipment that runs well and we're not going to have issues with flow, various things like that. Do you have an automatic cleaner in your pool? or and we love the Polaris 280. I'm just going to give a little plug on that. Todd has a YouTube video out there about how to properly install one. So if anyone needs to know how to properly install a Polaris 280, you should go check YouTube. We've had people from all over the country calling us and commenting about how helpful that video is. But we're really a proactive company. Local, we service just Frisco and select neighborhoods and nearby communities as well. But during the freeze, that intention that Todd has put forth of just serving Frisco only was so crucial. I mean, in these unprecedented time of the freeze, when everybody's pool equipment was frozen because of the rolling power outages, I mean, we were able to react for our clients. And had we not been local, that would have been really difficult, because we know a lot of competition goes, from Dallas to Garland, and our team travels in a pack basically. So, Mondays we might service East Frisco, and then that way, if anyone's sick on our team, the other ones can step up. If a team member is having trouble at a pool, another team member is close by and can come help them out. It's a great company, and I'm really proud to work for Cool Pool people. We service about 376 clients now here in Frisco. So.
Awesome. That's great.
Thank you.
For sure. All right. So Kindra, your last chance to grill Chancy if you want. She's your guest, so I'll give you that last right of refusal.
Well, I just want to give a quick plug, because during the freeze, they were the one pool company that I saw on Facebook. They're the one pool company that literally was on Nextdoor and was just giving out free advice. It didn't matter if you're their client or not. They were just advising everyone how to try to, what to do. And people from the north laugh at us because they're like, well, don't y'all winterize your pool? We're like, right. Winter is like about a flip. So no, we don't winterize our pool.
The rolling power outages were a game changer. That was the game changer. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Yeah, because we had no power. Yeah.
On that front, Kindra, we offer weekly pool care tips. We've been doing these consistently every single week for over a year now. Just putting out a 1-minute video, and we might be at a client and we're thinking, oh, what might be helpful to someone who owns a pool in the area? And like you said, it doesn't have to be our client. It can, there's a lot of people in the area that have pools, and we just want to provide that information. And eventually down the road, if you're deciding you want to give up the task of cleaning your own pool and having us do it for you, we would love that opportunity. So, and we put another fun thing we do is it's called a day in the life of the cool pool person, and so we'll put pictures of things that we've seen, or just some things that we come across, and they're pretty comical often. But there was one day that we ran into a situation where there was a homeowner who moved out of the house, and they weren't in the house for a week. So the next week we got there to service their pool. We found a decomposed skunk in the pool. That was not worthy of a picture to post on Facebook, but that was definitely something that we will never, ever forget. So, and we were able to take care of that for them. And the new homeowners, I don't think ever knew it happened.
I was hungry after seeing the owner's burger, but no longer. So that just killed it.
Yes.
Well, thanks again for coming on, Chancy. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do with your business, inflation celebrations, and everything about Cool Pool people. Heard great things, around the community. And then additionally, like I said, you guys reached out on a short notice and helped us with a few things. So thank you for all that. Ben, I want to jump over to you before we run out of time. I want to make sure that you are able to highlight who are your key clients, and just any other details that you want folks to know about your business that sets you guys apart.
Yeah. So my clients, realistically, can be anybody. Insurance is one of those things where it's a product that everybody legally has to have. So I try to set myself apart by being available. It's an ongoing relationship, and I give my personal cell phone number to my clients. That way, if they need something, if there's an emergency, they can text me, they can call me. Whatever they need help with, we're going to be there. We do have a full service team that takes care of all the back end stuff to make it a better experience. But I can really help make sure that our clients are always winning by making sure they have, again, the power of choice where they can get the best coverage at the best price. But my I guess ideal client, where I get most of my clients are going to be people that are either buying new homes, that are kind of first-time home buyers, learning, what is a homeowner's insurance policy? How does it work? I mean, when people are buying their first home, it's like drinking through a fire hose because there's so much information. There's mortgage information, there's escrow talk, there's title company stuff, so many variables. And I can really break it down and make the insurance part of it easy. Also people going through refinances, right? I tell, people like Mark all the time, hey, talk to your clients about their insurance when you're going through a refinance, because if we can still help them lower the insurance premium that they're paying, it's going to help, lower their monthly mortgage payment even more. And that's what most people are going for in a refinance. And then, kind of a little bit more on the broad side, is just anybody that feels like they're overpaying for their insurance. Let's take a look at the resources that we have to make sure that you're winning.
Fantastic. That's awesome. And Mark, I'm going to offer you the same chance to tee off on Mr. Jones here. Ask him whatever he wants, or, give him a proper send off.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming and stopping by and hanging out with us, Ben and Brian and London, for putting together the show and running all the technicals in the background, because although I'm the millennial, I don't understand any of this stuff. Same thing for the most part with insurance, and it is a whole new world for most of my clients, and it is, like he said, a necessity, but at the same time, there is so many options out there, and a lot of the time, if you're just calling a big box brand, you are not getting that correct attention and the real strategy that I pride myself on providing to my clients. And I pride myself on having the right partners in and around my business to be able to best assist. And a lot of the time, they are the ones that are going to be not just the best coverage, not just the best cost, but available. And that is important, especially like we talked about during the storms and during the winter freeze, and just making sure that you have somebody that's got your back. And I can put my word behind it and my name behind it, and Ben is that guy. And so I recommend anybody to reach out to him and give him a chance.
Awesome. Well, and I think you said it very well, Mark. It's the folks that are going to be answering their phones and having your back. And I think every one of us in this, the showroom right now and on the show today, each one of our businesses, that's the backbone for all of us, is that, we answer our phones, and if we don't, we go out of business or we lose to our competition. So I appreciate you bringing Ben on. Kindra, I appreciate you bringing Chancy on. It was a pleasure to have you guys as my co-host today. Unfortunately, we are out of time. We're pushing up against 3 o'clock here. So one final thank you to everybody here on the show today. You guys were awesome. Appreciate you having you guys on the show, and appreciate you sharing out about your businesses and about your own personal lives as well. Our audience always loves to hear that aspect of the business owners. So thank you for doing that. Again, thank you to Mr. Greg Holdberg for being our sponsor with Liberator Health Insurance. And also, thank you for winning that watch, Mr. Mr. Tom. So we'll have future giveaways as well in the future shows. But I also want you to know, again, if you reach out to anybody on the show today and spend a half-hour consultation with them, you will win a trip for 2 to 21 different locations in the U.S. That includes airfare and 2 nights of hotel. So that offer still stands as a follow-up to the show. Just mention that you saw them and wanted to speak to them as an appearance on Real Talk with me, Brian Poduska. That being said, again, thank you, guests. Thank you, co-hosts. We'll sign off with that. You guys all have a great weekend, and we'll see y'all next Thursday.
Thanks. Bye.